Um, most of the times you need to do such talking, but let it be positive. I can look at myself in the mirror and say, you at the other side of this mirror, I will say, please tell me the uncle, where is Brahma? You are prosperous. Please, I think I will not need this fan. You are prosperous. You have to understand that when you speak to yourself, you make a declaration. Permit me, sorry. So now listen. For example, the Bible said, and Jesus Christ was talking about himself. It talks about his death, talk about his resurrection. It talks about, it tells them what they should expect. Jesus never prophesied about his birth. Prophet prophesied about his birth. But when Jesus arrived in the scene, the Bible said, Jesus spoke to them about his death. He spoke about his burial and his resurrection. Because one thing we never have control over, first of all, we never have control over our bed. Because you were not there. You just came into the scene. The only personality that have right at that time over your bed is your dad and your mom. That is why what parent we say before the child is given birth to can affect the child. You know the reason why we are training you? It's not that you are more than a student. Anything you are now, you are more than that. Because you are going to grow past the stage. We want to give you the word of God so that you can be able to use the word of God to address situations. To know the right way to think and the right way to function. But let me show you something. I was saying something and I knew it was true. Because the Lord began to talk to me. And listen. The truth is this. I was teaching something about knowledge and ignorance. And I told you in knowledge, I said you can learn the wrong thing very well. And you can start arguing with that wrong thing that you have learned. It's not true that most of the time that we have those students is because we have bad teachers. Because most teachers can't teach well. Because a good teacher can make a bad student to be a good student. In most cases. That is 75 or 85% correct. You know why? Because most of you, before you start attending school, you were dull. Your brain was not as sharp. But as you keep learning, you are being cultivated, sharpened. You expand your mind. Something about your mind. You start using your mind. You start learning something. You are growing. The way you see things change. The way you talk change. The way you walk change. The way you dress change. Because you see, Bible says, not be conformed by the things of this world, but be transformed. And you cannot be transformed without information. It is information that brings about the transformation. But the right information. There is a wrong information. There is a right information. Listen, never mistake it. When we talk to some of you sometimes, we tell you, you have to be in the right environment. That is why every ground is called ground, but not all grounds are fertile. Even in the family of grounds, there are some that are fertile, but they are all called ground. Jesus Christ spoke about some that fell on stony ground. He talked about some. He spoke about 4 of them, and talked about the one that fell on good soil. And he said, our heart is that soil. So, the truth is this. Do you know that the difference between, okay, let me come here. The difference between loneliness and being alone. Most of you, for example, being alone, it means that you are standing alone. And it means that it's either someone left you, or you isolate yourself. And most of the times, you can only be alone if your source is not around. Because being alone, sometimes it have to be, it means that I'm alone. It means that there is no one. You are alone. And when you are alone, sometimes it's a choice. Sometimes circumstances can make someone to be alone. Circumstances. So everybody can leave that person. But the truth is this, even though everybody leaves you, you are not still alone. That is why I said, when being alone is when you conclude that God is not God. It means that you are truly alone. Because the Bible says, even though if the sucking, a mother that is breast feeding a child, forget the child. He said, God will not forget the child. Now, being alone, I've told you what it means. Now, being lonely, see, being lonely, loneliness, Bible says it's not good. Listen, Bible says it's not good for man to what? To be what? Alone. But it never says it's not good for man to be lonely. Because loneliness, it means sometimes a loneliness can be, you can be in a lonely place, what we call loneliness. Loneliness, one of the word loneliness means quietness. Quiet place. Quiet place. And in loneliness, you can either have a positive energy or a negative energy. How do I mean? For example, Jesus left his disciples and everybody, the Bible says he moved to a lonely place. But he was not lonely in that place because he was interacting with someone. But most of you are in a lonely place. It's very good sometimes to be lonely. Oh God. Because loneliness sometimes will help you to think. And you will think well if you have the right material to think. Because you can be thinking and be thinking wrongly. So loneliness in most cases, it means that sometimes, for example, he that dwell in the secret place. That secret place can be a lonely place, but that's where God is meeting you. Are you getting me right now? For example, even though Moses was busy, but he was in a lonely place with the sheep, when he saw a sight that attracted him. God most times does not speak in a busy place. He speaks more in a lonely place. So loneliness is not a weakness. I am lonely. Use it well, because you can draw strength from loneliness. Look at it. It leads me beside the still and quiet. It leads you, because sometimes, listen please, when you are quiet, you hear more.